Hey guys, welcome to another video. What I thought I would do today is film a little stretching session and give you some updates on what's happening with my life. There's a lot going on in the next few weeks, so I thought it'd be good to just make a little video and explain everything that's happening. I've got my cup of coffee here and I'm just going to go through some of my morning stretching routine. You can follow along with me. I'm just really going to be focusing on my legs, so my glutes, my hamstrings, and my quads. I'll do a couple of back stretches in there as well. So yeah, if you want to stretch, follow along with me, and I'm just going to be talking through it and giving you a bit of an update on what's going on in my life over the next few weeks to a month. So I'm gonna have to take a sip. All right, so we're just gonna work on the floor. You don't need any equipment or anything for this workout session. I'm just gonna start with stretching out my lower back. So lying on my tummy, extending up, just going into a nice stretch here. Taking a few deep breaths, relaxing into that. Going down and then gently pushing yourself up further into that stretch. You should really be feeling that through your lower back. Sitting back next, and we're going to sit back and just go into a long stretch, trying to really get that stretch through the upper back. Now make sure you are breathing comfortably through that. All right, so let's go into some leg stretches. So for those who don't know me, my name is Alina Kennedy. I'm a physiotherapist. I work mostly with runners. I'm also a strength trainer, so I do all of that work sort of with injury rehab and prevention for runners. So I'm from Australia. I grew up in Adelaide. So this next stretch, just stretching out your leg, leaning in towards that. So yeah, I grew up in Adelaide in South Australia. And that's where I did my physiotherapy degree. So I lived there till I was about 25 and then moved to Sydney for a few years. And now I'm actually in New York. So I've been living in New York for 3 years now. So yeah, I've been living in and working in New York, which has been an awesome experience. I've had an opportunity to do lots of really cool stuff. I moved here with my husband, so he's been working here as well. But we've made the decision to go back home to Australia. So we are heading back to Australia. We're actually heading back next week. So that is the really big life update that's happening. So obviously this time of year, this time of what's going on in the world has made this whole process really interesting. So we were planning on moving back and going straight back to Adelaide, but Australia has some really strict quarantine laws at the moment with coronavirus. Understandably, they're actually controlling it reasonably well in Australia, so we want to keep it that way. But one of the big quarantine laws there is anyone who comes in overseas has to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks when they first get there. Which sounds amazing, but it's not that luxurious. You basically stay in your hotel room. And so that's all paid for by the government, and they bring you 3 meals a day and all of that. So it's not terrible conditions, but you don't really get to go outside or exercise or any of that stuff. So that's going to be an interesting couple of weeks. Let's go into a hamstring stretch next. So just going into a lunge, and I'm going to lean forward into that stretch. So lean back, so really getting into that hamstring there. So next week when we move back, the first couple of weeks we're going to be in Sydney in a hotel and just doing that quarantine. And then we're going to go to Adelaide, which is where we're going to be based in our hometown there. So, and potentially we'll have to do a couple of weeks at home in Adelaide as well, because There's also quarantine between state to state in Australia. So they're really strict with any sort of traveling and then making sure that you're not spreading the virus between people after you travel, which is fair enough. So yeah, that's the big life change over the next couple of weeks, over the next month, just that relocation back to Australia. And we've got a house there, so we're really excited to move. We're set up. It's going to be a very different lifestyle to New York, much bigger place. We'll have a backyard and all of that. So really looking forward to that lifestyle change. And both mine and my husband's families are in Adelaide, so it'll be really nice to be close to them as well. Getting that nice good stretch in through there. My hamstrings are super tight, so just go as far as you can. If you're really flexible, you might be able to sit right back and lean forward into that. It's the morning here and my hamstrings are feeling tight today, so I'm just easing into that stretch. But yeah, so that's sort of personal life, what's happening. New York has been awesome. We have loved our experience here and made some really great friends. Work's been really fun here. I've had some really cool experiences, worked with a few running clubs here, and really built a lot of my business while I've been in New York as well. So Sprint Rehab is my business, which is an online physiotherapy business. So what I do there is I help people recover from injuries as well as prevent injuries, and they're sort of like ready-made physiotherapy programs on there. So that's something that I built while I was in New York. So that stretch here, we're really getting into this hip flexor stretch here now as well. But yeah, so that's been New York, and then really looking forward to a different type of work environment in Australia as well. I'm still going to be working as a physio, and Sprint Rehab is still going to be up and running. Nothing is changing with that. In fact, I'm hoping to really be able to bring out even more content while I'm in Australia. And also I'd love to hear what you guys really want to know more about, whether it's sort of specific injuries that you want me to create videos about and really explain what the injuries are and why they happen and what you can do to fix them, or if it's specific exercises or workout routines, whether it is rehab or injury prevention. Yeah, let me know what you guys what you're really interested in, what type of content you want to see from me, and what would help you as a runner, particularly with injury rehab and prevention. So going into another hamstring stretch, but this time more focusing on that inside part of your hamstring. So got one foot just tucked in and then extending that other leg out. Just gonna have a sip of coffee before it gets cold. That's the good stuff. So yeah, obviously a lot of runners get injured all the time. It kind of just comes with running. Injuries tend to be really high, but I'm a big believer that a lot of that is preventable. A lot of injuries happen from training mistakes that we make, and that's just kind of a learning curve for a lot of runners, working out how to run better, what training routine works for them, when to fit in strength training and injury prevention stuff. But if there's information that you think would be really helpful to you to help you get past your injuries, or even just prevent injuries or improve your speed, improve how you perform on races, let me know, because I'd love to. I really want to make content that is helpful to you guys and is really valuable to making you a healthier runner, so that you're not bogged down with injuries all the time, but really making the most of running and training to the best of your ability. So with this stretch, I love this stretch as well to also get your back stretch. So going back to that first leg, what I'm going to do is actually grab onto my foot here, extend that leg out, and then lean my body across over towards this side, and go across this way. So that's getting a really good stretch in through the side of my back there. So all of these stretches are also on my website. So all of the programs that I have dedicated stretching days. So I have filmed all of these exercises with explanations of how to do all of these exercises properly. And those are all in those programs on the website. If you want more details about some of those programs, feel free to message me or reach out on Instagram. My Instagram is sprint_rehab, sorry. And or even just go check out the website, sprintrehab.com. But yeah, so that's a bit of a life update, moving from New York back to Australia in the middle of quarantine. In the middle of coronavirus, I should say, with having to do all of that quarantine in Australia, particularly Sydney and even Adelaide potentially. So it's going to be a month-long quarantine for us before we can get back to normal life. But then hopefully things come back to some sort of normal, although who knows how long this is all going to be going on in the world, particularly with all of the restrictions everywhere. It's really crazy what's happening. And yeah, obviously thinking about all of the people that are on the front lines, all the doctors and nurses. Fun fact, in Australia, they're actually getting physios to also help out with doing some chest physiotherapy. So I'm glad that physiotherapists as a profession can help out with that as well. Let's go into a quad stretch. So what I'm going to do is actually put my foot up against the wall here, bring my other leg out in front. I'm going to lean forward into that stretch. Now, the further back your knee goes towards the wall, the more of that quad stretch you're going to get. So just leaning into that, getting a good stretch there. Also, if you live in Adelaide and you're looking for a physio, hit me up because I will be there from, well, I'll probably be able to see patients from about May or mid-May. So if you live in Adelaide or you know anyone who lives in Adelaide, reach out because I will be working there from May. So that's exciting. I do focus on running patients, but I see a bunch of other things as well, so any kind of sporting injuries, chronic pain, all of that good stuff. So now that should be getting that really good stretch in through the front of your thigh there. And in terms of running, I hadn't planned any races for this year because, well, I tried for the lottery for the New York City Half, which I didn't get in, and then they actually cancelled that race as well. And I hadn't had any other races booked for the rest of the year. So that's kind of, well, obviously up in the air at the moment. I've still been going out for just the occasional run to get out of the house. Over the next month, while I'm stuck in quarantine, I won't be able to head outside and go for a run. So that'll be interesting to see how I deal with with being stuck indoors all the time. Definitely going to be trying to do a lot more exercise at home just to stay active and stay moving. Just getting into another hamstring stretch here. So this time, legs straight forward. I like to grab onto my foot just to give it a bit of a pull, so I've got something to leverage on from that. But yeah, definitely going to be trying to do a few more exercises at home. Depending on the situation in quarantine, I'm going to try and film some videos there, maybe in the hotel room, show you some of my workouts. Let me know if you're interested in that. But definitely once I get home to Adelaide, I'll be able to film some stuff. So yeah, I won't be doing a lot of running for the next month, but still trying to stay active. And then After that, I'd love to train for another half marathon sometime later in the year. Hopefully they start doing races again towards the end of the year. The Adelaide Marathon season is in May, so that I'm assuming is cancelled. But there is another half marathon that's part of the City to Bay running festival in Adelaide. So there's a 12K run and a half marathon run as part of that. If I remember correct, that's in September. So hopefully I'll be able to train up for that, but I'll keep you guys updated, let me know what I'm doing. Yeah, all right, so that's my stretching session done. Bit of a life update done. Not sure if this was interesting or valuable, but I'd love to connect with you guys. Let me know what you're up to, how you're handling coronavirus. I hope you're all safe and healthy. If you have any questions, please let me know. Leave it as a comment down below. I'll be sure to answer it, or feel free to message me directly on Instagram. You'll find that at sprint_rehab, or you can also email me. So my email is alina@sprintrehab.com. Thanks for joining me for this stretching session, and I'll see you next time.